Tonight, more slush funds, National Guard is active, and Q warns us to watch the news tomorrow. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. First, I always start off by thanking each and every one of my subscribers. You guys are obviously what make this channel possible. Without you guys, it would be nothing. So if you haven't yet, please come here to this landing page and click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you will be informed. And I always update you as soon as I have the information made available to me. Now, getting into more of tonight's Q posts. I made a video earlier. If you guys want to go check that out, more than welcome to. Come check out the mass extinction events designed, money, power, control. This one kind of goes over what we talked about, or what has been posted already tonight, up until just a little bit ago when we had a whole string of new posts. And we'll get right into those. So, tonight, here's Q's first post. Example, Gateway Bridge Project, 1.8 million, Cory Booker, Singapore. 3.5 million, Chuck Schumer, Israel. 400,000, Chris Christie, Mary Pat, United States. Omnibus, the gift that keeps on giving, Q. All right, so then, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more dots, so maybe 8 more people who are getting payoffs there, or 8 more examples that they could list if they wanted to. But obviously, if you look at what the Gateway Bridge Project is, it's a project between New York and New Jersey that's going to put $30 billion into the rail tunnel systems between those two states. And here's an article that came out not too long ago that basically said that they don't need Trump's approval to spend $30 billion, I think a large portion in federal funding. So, but Q's giving us this example to show us that this is how it works. This is where the money gets stored. You know, if you get a $30 billion bill passed, people like Cory Booker and Chuck Schumer are getting a cut off the top. Obviously, Schumer's got money in Israel, and Booker's got money in Singapore. And Chris Christie has money here in the United States. So, moving forward. Q here responds to his own post saying, Hussein timeline. 1/2017 to today. Cross against POTUS schedule. Cross against White House visitor log from 11/22 to 1/18 on 2017. This will become very relevant very soon. Now, I haven't cross-checked the White House visitor logs yet, even though I have looked briefly at them. Nothing that stands out initially, but you guys, I'm sure, will fill me in. I still have a lot more research to do. I'm bringing you all of this information because it's being made available to me, and that's the job and purpose of this channel, is to make it available to you. So, here we're going through what this is. It's talking about how, Barack Obama has followed Trump basically on every international trip that he's made. So much so that even in the Daily Wire, he's earned the nickname by Emily Zanotti, one of the writers here, as a shadow president, because he is following him. First, it was Trump's European trip, and then it was Trump's Asian tour. And Barack Obama has been following closely and speaking with the leaders of those countries shortly thereafter. Trump was able to speak with them. Obviously, it seems that Obama's going around the world and trying to rectify the train wreck of a scam that they were trying to run against the American people that was blown up the second that Admiral Rogers went and debriefed President Trump on what was going on beneath the surface and behind the scenes. So obviously, that is something that we should look at, and I can't wait to hear or see what the visitor log shows and how that's going to become relevant. I have a feeling a lot of things are going to be coming out about Mr. Hussein that are going to prove a lot of these theories correct, but that's merely my opinion at this point. Now, again, Q's responding to his own post here in the next one. He says, the Analysis Corporation, TAC, happy hunting. Okay, so what is TAC? Well, the Analysis Corporation here, he gives us, if you see in the post, the next post here, he actually gives us these 2 screenshots that basically show, if you do a quick Google search, it comes up as founded by John Brennan. and we all know John Brennan very well. I'll give you a little example here of what he likes to say about the president. So here is what John Brennan was saying before. This is from March 17th, where he says, when the full extent, and this is replying to Donald Trump, when the full extent of your venality, moral turpitude, and political corruption becomes known, you will take your rightful place as a disgraced demagogue in the dustbin of history. You may scapegoat Andy McCabe, but you will not destroy America. America will triumph over you. Now, and just as of 7 minutes ago, or 8 minutes, however you want to look at it, we have this tweet from him in response to Donald Trump talking about how his poll numbers are at 51%. He says, I served 6 presidents, 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats. I directly supported Clinton, Bush 43, and Obama. While I didn't agree with all their policy choices, I admired and respected all of them, as they put country above their personal interests. Not so with you, as your self-adoration is disgraceful, says John Brennan, former CIA director and non-partisan American. I mean, it's just hilarious. This little raisin-faced turd muffin who thinks, and excuse my language there, I have a complete disdain for this individual. And he actually says here, non-partisan American who is very concerned about our collective future. You, Mr. Brennan, are the least nonpartisan person I have ever encountered. The fact that you haven't changed that description only speaks more to your character and your inability to have self-awareness. So you, my friend, are delusional. And everything that you did for those 6 presidents that you served, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the deplorable, and the despicable, and the evil, and the demonic, will come to light. Now, however you want to look at it, you and Comey and Clapper and the whole gang, Holder, Lynch, the whole gang, your crimes and your moral turpitude is going to be shown to the world. So you just wait for your day to come. Now, looking at what it says the Analysis Corporation, TAC, was the intelligence solutions business of Global Defense Technology and Systems Incorporated, GTEC, now renamed Sotera Defense Solutions, a defense contracting company since its inception in 1990. TAC has been working on projects in the counterterrorism and national security realm by supporting national watch listing activities as well as other CT requirements. Based in McLean, Virginia, yeah, we all know about that. We've heard McLean many times here before. It is a wholly owned subsidiary of Global Strategies Group North America, the operating company of GTEC. Now, when you go to this actual website here, you can get into these different packages. They have contract vehicles, and you can get into these identity and quantify your requirements. It's basically these seem like protection packages, IT protection, scheduling packages, that kind of stuff here for your hardware, software, and services of the government IT community. But it has this weird website, or it has this weird connection where, obviously you do a lot of government contracting, because if you click to their link here, it takes you to a actual GSA.gov, which, is a government website here that actually offers general services administration, I believe is the name of the government agency, and it actually is in charge of doing things like working on the White House, for example. We've talked about this before in previous videos. If you guys want to go back and check through and kind of, if you guys have been following for a while, or if you want to go back, watch through pretty much each and every one of my videos is really bombshell about this stuff. So definitely, if you ever have a chance and it's slow, go back and rewatch. So now, talking about what we have here, though, the AN0N Post, founded by Brennan, and he gives a link to the article. Now, Q responds, he says, track edits, watch for magic bot, quote unquote, the magic bot, Q. So if you go to their actual Wikipedia page here, I've been looking through all the edits that were made. The funnier ones are basically of the last 2 days. Before this was ever mentioned on the Q board, the last time it was updated was the 26th of January. Um, and the edit was right here where it is going through how they previous owner, they took out a few words here, nothing too crazy. And I haven't seen anything going through all of the edits by anybody named Magic, the Magic Bot. There's Bender the Bot. There's a few other ones, Cyberbot, YoBot. But I guess we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Some of the funnier ones, though, like this person he titled his edit "Installed Freedom" and he put hashtag QAnon here. Uh, Another one was typo where they put hashtag "Where we go one, we go all." I thought that was great. Um, I think it even fixes it because it was a typo. Here's another one, truth. They put hashtag calm before the storm under the analysis corporation. Of course, somebody came in and put remove nonsense, so they took it all out. This Ranisini Strazi, whoever he is, whoever they are, I should say. But so that was, I thought, incredibly comical to see how quickly the edits got up there. Now, the next one is actually quite pertinent to what we just discussed, and it's about this article here. And we've talked about this in previous videos too. I've brought this to your attention. But this is a screenshot of an article where it just says YouTube will add information from Wikipedia to videos about conspiracies, pushing back on crazy theories. Now, this article, or one of these articles that I read, talked about how Susan Wojcicki, the woman who is the CEO of YouTube, whose sister is the CEO or the head of 23andMe, the genetic monitoring corporation, who was married to Sergey Brin, one of the original creators of Google, with Larry Page. So, you obviously you see where these connections are. But they want to take Wikipedia and they want to put it on YouTube, which I just thought was hilarious, because my point was, wouldn't it be incredible? It's going to be so funny to get the screenshots from people watching videos. And, it's like I was watching a video about whatever, and then they go to an edited Wikipedia page that's just been edited before it's been had a chance to get corrected. And it says, whatever it may say, because, these edits can be very, very crazy at times. But I just thought that would be hilarious. But this is not funny because they're trying to label things conspiratorial, label them as conspiracies, which they should not be in the business of telling us what the information should be. In my opinion, I think that they should, obviously you have to monitor it for certain things, but for the most part, you have to allow free speech. And I think it is a violation of free speech when you start putting labels that you can't verify as true onto things like conspiracy, when you don't give a good explanation of why, just a link to a Wikipedia article, which anybody could make at any time and edit any way they want. We all know how Wikipedia works by popular consensus, and but that doesn't mean it's not able to be warped and turned. Because if you look at, I think the connection that Q's trying to point to is learning. We're following the loop, Q, right? So we understand now why it says the AN0N put. Now we know why YouTube is linking to Wikipedia to verify. Well, it's fairly obvious if you look at it in the context from which we're looking at it now, is that videos like mine may very well start getting little Wikipedia links attached to them. I don't know what they would link to. QAnon's fake? I don't know, because that would be something they would try to stop. I have no idea. But Loop is talking about Loop Capital, of course. Now, we all know Loop Capital. It's been mentioned before. It's a capital investment firm, and it's an investment bank, brokerage and advisory firm that provides creative capital solutions for corporate, governmental, and institutional entities across the globe. but it's been mentioned in Q posts before where, we're talking about things that are happening here where you say, follow the money, Loop Capital Markets, happy hunting. That was another time you said happy hunting. The next one is don't lose focus on Loop Capital. And it was after he posted this. How much did Australia donate to here? How much did Australia donate to Clinton Foundation? How much did Saudi Arabia donate to Clinton Foundation? Compare. Why is this relevant? What phone call between POTUS and ex-Austria, Australia leaked? List the leadership in Australia. Identify leadership during Hussein term. Identify leadership during POTUS's term. Who controls Australia? Who really controls Australia? UK? Why is this relevant? Q. Okay? So not to get off onto too much of a tangent here, talking about Australia and the Clinton Foundation and Saudi Arabia and the Clinton Foundation, obviously they made big donations and they were a part of the people who sought to buy influence in our government, and they were sold it by the Clintons and their foundation. And then through many other means and facets, but who controls Australia? Well, the Australians, maybe the Chinese, but who really controls it? Probably the UK, because they have deep ties going back to how it was a prison colony for the British originally that morphed into what is now today Australia. So there's a lot of people who have money in Loop Capital, right? There's a lot of people who are actually getting money into these slush funds, and it's being diverted through this company, I believe. And that's just my alleged thought. So, or my thought, my opinion. So, we shouldn't lose focus on them, and we should just keep an eye on them. And that's kind of it. But also I want to talk about something that may be related somehow. You have the loop quantum gravity. It's a theory in quantum gravity. Now, it's actually interesting to read this. It says, merging quantum mechanics and general relativity, its goal unifies gravity in a common theoretical framework with the other three fundamental forces of nature, beginning with relativity, and adding quantum features. It competes with string theory that begins with quantum field theory and adds gravity. You guys have to excuse me. I'm a little hoarse. I've been doing a lot of videos lately, so my voice is starting to go. But it says, from the point of view of Albert Einstein's theory, all attempts to treat gravity like one more quantum force on par with electromagnetism and the nuclear forces have failed. According to Einstein, gravity is not a force. It is a property of space-time itself. Loop quantum gravity is an attempt to develop a quantum theory of gravity based directly on Einstein's geometric formulation. And it just kind of goes on to say how loop quantum gravity is an attempt to bring all of the different parts of the theory of everything together. It's very interesting if you guys want to go look it up. And the only reason I bring it up is because a few minutes before I started this video, I got a very weird tweet from Jack Posobiec. And if you don't know who Jack Posobiec is, go look at some of his work. He's got some great insight into what's going on here. And he just said loop quantum gravity. So that was the whole post, nothing more. And I just thought it was interesting because we were talking about loop here on the Q board. Now, moving into the next one. Excuse me. Used against them. National Guard now active. Refer to old drops. Saudi Arabia and National Guard. The wave Q. All right, so this one's pretty fascinating to me because it says refer to old drops where you see Saudi Arabia and National Guard together. Now, I found the first time on the Q board where we saw, or at least the first time I could find, where we saw Saudi Arabia and National Guard mentioned in the same place. Okay, and it's here, and this is from November 9th. And it gives this link to this, which is, one of those old Q graphics that we probably don't even recognize nowadays because Q has advanced well beyond these cut together boards, that now we have these great websites where we can go and actually have the Q posts in a much more easy to read format. Now, why is this important though? Because we're going to read what the actual post was saying. So, the post says, trip added, coordinated effort to misdirect, guide to reading the crumbs necessary to continue. Attached graphic is correct. Linked graphics are incorrect and false. Graphic is necessary and vital. Timestamps in order is critical. Re-review graphic in full each day post news release. Learn to distinguish between relevant, non-relevant news. Disinformation is real. Disinformation is necessary. Example, U.S. military National Guard. 1. False. Saudi Arabia, true. Why was this necessary? What questions were asked re Saudi Arabia prior to Saudi Arabia events? Why is this relevant? Think mirror. Look there or here or there. Truth is behind you. What is a map? Why is a map useful? What is a legend? Why is a legend useful? What is a sequence? Why is this relevant? When does a map become a guide? What is a keystone? Everything stated is relevant. Everything. Future provides past. Map provides picture. Picture provides 40,000 foot view. 40,000 foot view is classified. Why is a map useful? Think direction. Think full picture. Who controls the narrative? Why is this relevant? What is a spell? Who is asleep? Dissemination. Attention on deck. There is an active war on your mind. Be prepared. Operations underway. Operations active. Graphic is essential. Find the keystone. Moves and counter moves. They never thought she would lose. Snow White, Godfather 3, Iron Eagle, Q. All right, well, a lot of this, we've kind of gotten past and figured out a lot of it. A lot of it we're still figuring out. But one thing that's very interesting about this time, you see the first time where you have National Guard in Saudi Arabia mentioned here in the same post where it says CIA is here. Pray. Pray. And this is, shortly after Q only started posting back in October of late October of 2017. So obviously this was him giving us a heads up way back then what this was all about. And as you can see, there is a lot more to this than even meets the eye right now. But we'll move on to the next Q post. You guys, I want to hear what you have to think about this one. I really would appreciate any insights you guys have here about Saudi Arabia and the National Guard and the wave. I've already found something else where it talks about the wave will come fast. I'll pull that up right now. So here's the post from November 1st, 2017, right? Q says here basically, maybe one day, but it cannot go slow. The initial wave will be fast and meaningful. It will send a signal to others immediately, and you'll see the tide turn. Not even the MSM can hide, and rest assured, some will be jailed as deep cover agents. All right, so, and what they're getting into here is they were just talking about how, here's a great one I thought we should read too. Would you believe a device was placed somewhere in the White House that could actually cause harm to anyone in the room and would, in essence, be undetected? Fantasy, right? When Trump was elected, you can't possibly imagine the steps taken prior to losing power to ensure future safety and control. When it reported Trump Jr. dropped his Secret Service detail, why would he take that huge risk given what we know? I can hint and point, but cannot give too many highly classified data points. These keywords and questions are framed to reduce sniffer programs that continually absorb and analyze data, then push to Z terminals for evaluation. Think X key score on steroids. Guys, this is actually happening right now. This is where the algorithms are based. This is the central theme to it all. This is the control. This is the monitoring network they have. Okay, they have these sniffer programs that go around the internet and they absorb every single piece of data on the internet. They analyze it in practically real time, and then they forward it to these Z terminals where they get priority evaluation tags, and then based on the priority of the priority of the information, the evaluation is either quicker or slower. So obviously, and if you're taking like talking about a program like XKeyscore, where they basically just have everything in a database, I mean that on steroids, being able to filter and take speech to text and text and put it into filters that are searchable and break it down by who says what when, that is just incredible. So if you can imagine the things they have are mostly unimaginable to us right now as we sit here talking. But moving forward. Now, the next one is quite interesting. You guys, I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Just get back to me in the comments about that. Now it says, list the estimated wealth of religious organizations. Billions. Vatican Bank, $229 billion. Board of Superintendents, Supervisory Commission of Cardinals, Clown Connection, 1832 loan to the Holy See. Q. So, here's the 1832 Rothschild loan to the Holy See. It says, the 1832 Rothschild loan to the Holy See was a financial loan arranged between the Rothschild family in the persons of James Mayer de Rothschild and Karl Mayer von Rothschild and the Holy See of the Catholic Church during the pontificate of Pope Gregory XVI. The loan agreed on was for a sum of 400,000 lira, equivalent to 34.1 million lira today, or in 2016. So imagine this. The Rothschilds went into the Catholic Church in 1832 and gave them a loan for, at that time, an amount worth what would be in their dollars, quotes like $30 plus million. Now, could you imagine like if they held that loan up till today, just the interest alone, they'd be quadrillionaires. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but you guys get the point. And the amount of power and influence they have in that institution is obviously being displayed here. Here's an interesting part to this article where it talks about the reactions to what happened when the loan was given. It says, reports of the transaction led to stinging criticisms of Pope Gregory XVI and the Christian, in particular Catholic world, almost all of which circulated around the Jewishness of the Rothschilds. The French Romantic poet Alfred de Vigny said, a Jew now reigns over the Pope in Christianity. He pays monarchs and buys nations. Ludwig Born, a Jewish convert to Lutheranism and member of the Youth Germany movement, stated, a wealthy Jew kisses the hand while a poor Christian kisses the Pope's feet. The Rothschilds are assuredly nobler than their ancestors Judas Iscariot. He sold Christ for 30 small pieces of silver. The Rothschilds would buy him if he were for sale. Another prominent example is the mention of the loan in the sonnet of Giuseppe Guccino Belli. It says, while Belli found the Rothschild highly objectionable, for him the Pope was even worse, as a weak man who had sold Rome, both Rome and the state, and was thus no longer worthy of wearing the papal robes. So obviously nobody took it well at the time, especially some of the people who were more aware of what was going on. Obviously, this goes back to a lot of different things that we can cover. But, I mean, looking at that, you see what's being suggested here by Q, and that the money is there and it's playing a huge role. Okay, so now the next post. And if you guys have more thoughts on this, please, I'd love to go into it further. There's just a lot of meat there, and we're going to have to leave that on the bone for now. But we'll get to it hopefully in another video. I'm just trying to get all this up for you guys in a palatable form. So it says, we don't say his name, adios. The protected flow into Arizona is no more. Under the cover of his faith, he will not be seeking another term. Or of his health, excuse me. He will not be seeking another term. Q. All right, so that's obviously talking about McCain. He's gone. He's not going to seek another term, and that we've busted up the flow into Arizona. Now, I think there's a lot of things that got into Arizona through the border when it was basically opened up, and I think that's really what Q's getting at, is that it's not just the illegal immigrants coming in; it's the information that can't be passed over the internet. It's the money that is bribes that can't be passed through wire transfers. It's the the terrorists that could be smuggled in through that way. I mean, these are the things that we really need to consider, not just the fact that there are illegal people who are trying to just walk into our country and just claim all the rights of citizenship. That's a whole aside to the fact that we have what Q has mentioned before, allegedly, is China-Russia actors passing notes and information and possibly bribes through the unguarded border, especially through Arizona and California, where they can pipeline in whatever they want, whether it be notes to people who they've bought and paid for in our government that they can't send via digital means because they will be intercepted, or money. Okay, so take that with a grain of salt, but I think it definitely has some validity here. Now, we have the AN0N here who's posting to Q in response to this one that we just read about John McCain. He says, good expletive, quick question. The wall can't just be for stopping drugs, assassins, and child traffickers. What other nations are planning to use Mexico as an attack vector in the event of war? Is there another Zimmerman telegram we don't know about? Q responds, would you invade a country whereby a good portion of its citizens are armed? The ultimate deterrent, Q, which is why the Second Amendment is so important. And if you don't own one, go out and buy one. Get yourself prepared and armed. Own responsibly. Go take classes and learn how to use it. And, if you're not adept with it, learn how to become adept with it. And you need it for protection. And it's our right, as the Second Amendment states. So I believe everyone should own one. But what is the Zimmerman telegram, for those of you who don't know? Well, according to the National Archives, quite simply put, the Zimmerman telegram was a telegram that was sent to Mexico by Germany during World War I, that basically asked if Mexico would be willing to fight against the United States if war did in fact break out between the two countries. Now, obviously, I don't think Mexico decided to go with that, but you can read right here for yourself. Here's actually the transcript of the telegram, which I thought was definitely worth reading because it gives, future or past is prologue. So we have to understand that our past is doomed to repeat itself, and we have to be aware of what was going on then because it's probably going to give us a good idea of what's going on now. But the telegram says, quote, we intend to begin on the 1st of February unrestricted submarine warfare. We shall endeavor in spite of this to keep the United States of America neutral. In the event of this in the event of this not succeeding, we make Mexico a proposal of alliance on the following basis: make war together, make peace together, generous financial support, and an understanding on our part that Mexico is to reconquer the lost territory in Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. The settlement in detail is left to you. You will inform the President of the above most secretly as soon as the outbreak of war with the United States of America is certain, and add the United States of America and add the suggestion that he should, on his own initiative, invite Japan to immediate adherence and at the same time mediate between Japan and ourselves. Please call the President's attention to the fact that the ruthless employment of our submarines now offers the prospect of compelling England in a few months to make peace. Signed, Zimmerman. So that's the gist of what that was saying. And yeah, that's what the ANON's referring to here. He's saying, look, are we looking at something like that, the Zimmerman telegram, that we don't know about? And Q basically points to the Second Amendment and says it's the ultimate deterrent, and not many countries are that stupid to be planning an invasion of the United States because they knew it wouldn't work out. So, now, all right, I know we got a lot here, so let's get through it. Jared Cohen coming soon to a theater near you. Now, who is Jared Cohen? He is a former aide to the Obama administration. He worked closely with Susan Rice, I think, and he's connected to Iran very closely as one of the people here on Reddit. Redditors put it. Credit to Albert Pettibone, 1998. He says, "What other info do you all have on him? Just dig this up from Wikipedia." It's a quote from Condoleezza Rice's book. When he, i.e. Stephen Krasner, came to the State Department, Steve brought together a terrific staff of young guns to push new ideas. One of his most inspired appointments came in 2006 when he hired the 20-something Jared Cohen, who'd been a student at Stanford and had taken 4 months sojourn on his own in Iran. He would use his position at policy planning to begin to integrate social media into our diplomatic toolkit. That would pay off handsomely some years later when Twitter and Facebook became accelerants of democratic change in the Middle East. So this guy was a part of the policy planning that probably sprang into light the Arab Spring. He was one of the people who was working on the social media before it was even really that big back in 2006, when it was still basically fledgling at that point, hadn't really caught on and become very popular. But we all saw what social media was able to do with the Arab Spring in Egypt and the Middle East. So obviously this guy has a lot to do with that. And do I think this is all going to come out in reference to possibly the Cambridge Analytica and everything else? Yes. And Mark Zuckerberg and these tech companies that are going down, I think they're going to try to put him in there as a player or an actor in all of this because he will be in a theater near us soon. I think that's a pun on the fact that he's going to be a part of the show that they're going to try to present to us, the dog and pony show that they're going to try to put forth in order to cover up their own corruptness. Now, here's the next Q post that I thought was really great. He says, "We are sincerely appreciative for your kind words, and appreciation means more than you know. Each one read in full. We are in this together. We are in this together. Where we go one, we go all. 2018 will be glorious. God bless Q." So, Q's giving a shout out to everybody who's coming here, because you can go on. Anybody can go on to these boards when they're active and just contribute. I do all the time, or I try to do it often, and to stay involved there and monitor what's going on. So that's where I get a lot of information, because it is a collective effort and we are sharing that information. But I get just as much information from the comment boards of these videos. So make sure you go down and comment if you have a thought or a theory that you want to share. Now, the next one, AN0N posts. "I bet he already talked to Putin too." And it says, "Peace through strength, Q." Well, I think it's very possible that he already talked to Putin, and they've already worked out or hashed out what they're going to do, which is why he's talking about withdrawing from Syria and trying to stabilize the Middle East the best he can. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas about that, so let me know in the comments what you think. Now, the last one, it says, "POTUS will be up all night. Pray. Watch the news tomorrow, Q." So I don't know about you, but I'm going to be glued to the news from here till tomorrow morning, basically. And I will be bringing you the news as it is made available. Hopefully it's good and we don't have something bad, but you never know in this crazy time that we live in what Q is hinting at. If you guys have any ideas of what the news is going to be tomorrow, I'd love for you guys to go down into the comments and post a comment. That way we can actually go back and we can point to, oh, if you're right and you guessed it right, then you'll be featured on the show. So I'm going to be checking the comments for that. So please let me know what your idea is for what the news is going to be tomorrow that is going to be breaking, and that is what is going to keep POTUS up all night. And we all should pray for him and our country and one another through this battle against evil. Now, that being said, that's going to basically wrap it up for tonight. One more thing I want to go over, which I thought was very important, is Dr. Jerome Corsi and what's happening to him. Jerome, he's been having a tough time. He's a great dude, or a great guy, and he's got this great book out that is being touted as just a great read. I actually support anybody who wants to go read it. I'm going to be ordering my copy soon. I haven't gotten around to it, but I'd love to do that, to order a copy of his book just for a good read. It's always nice to sit down and have a interesting, thoughtful analysis to read through. And Dr. Jerome Corsi seems to be pretty good at putting those out there. And his writing is great. I've read some of his other work. It's really fantastic. So, not a plug for Corsi, of course, though, I'm sure many people will see this and think what they will. But I feel bad for him right now because he is in this battle. He's got Jeff Bezos and the New York Times and Carlos Slim. They're banning his book, and that just to me is unacceptable. So we all need to say something about this. You can see he goes off on a pretty hardcore tangent on Jeff Bezos, saying, "Has Bezos lost his mind?" Poking stick in face of Donald Trump. It says, Bezos, I have a good psychiatrist to recommend for you, or do you need an antitrust lawyer? Doesn't matter. Amazon blocks Trump book, Jerome Corsi Killing the Deep State from advertising. Then it says, Bezos, I know you're a genius and everything. Billionaire today, easy come, easy go. But do you really want to tell Donald Trump to go stuff it? I mean, banning my book, Killing the Deep State. And he goes on, he says, hey, Bezos, I get it. Between you and the Mexican socialist Carlos Slim, you guys are kings of the mountain, banning my little book, Killing the Deep State. Going on, it's nice, Bezos, I mean, to be God, of course, shared with Mexican NYT god Carlos Slim, the elegant impresario. Banning Killing the Deep State along with NYT, New York Times. He goes on, he says, you're right, Bezos, I wouldn't worry about pissing off at real Donald Trump. You and your Mexico buddy, Carlos Slim, no, POTUS is really a pushover. I mean, you are a billionaire today and really smart today, so ban my book, Killing the Deep State. And then he posts this meme here, kind of making fun of what they're doing. You can read these memes. And then kind of the icing on the cake here, he says, don't worry, Bezos. What happened to Zuckerberg could never happen to you. And your Mexican pal, Carlos Slim at the New York Times, are too smart. WAPO smart. Washington Post smart. Ban Trump killing the deep state. You don't need no stinking Internet Bill of Rights at FTC. Yeah, I tend to agree with Corsi's analysis, but it's his opinion, not mine, and he's obviously just upset at the way that his book is being treated. Now, if you guys don't know, I have an official Just Informed Talk Twitter page. If you want to check it out, come follow. Basically the best thing about this channel or this Twitter page is that all of my videos automatically post here. So if you're not getting notifications on YouTube or whatever, you will get this notification hopefully on Twitter. All you have to do is come here and check at Justin_formed or search Justin Formed Talk, and you'll find my channel here where I try to post some kind of funny things and some serious things and retweet things that are important. But if you guys want to come join me here, that'd be great. Now, that's going to be pretty much it for this episode. If you're looking for a way to contribute to the channel, I really encourage you to come here and click the big red subscribe button. That way you can get you can become part of the Just Informed Talk initiative. Click the bell for notifications so you can be notified when these videos get posted. Again, thank you to each and every one of my subscribers. You guys are really what make this channel possible. Another great way to contribute is to go down and comment. I'm really looking forward to some of these comments that are going to be coming up in this video. It's just a pleasure to go through and read each and every one of them. You guys are the best. We have our own QAnon research board at the end of each one of these videos. So even if you can't comment, go down and read through the comments. You'll see and find information that is just incredible. Some of the smartest minds out there putting together some great analysis that is just culminating into a crescendo of great thought and dialogue on the QAnon phenomena. So again, if you're looking for another way to support, you can come here and check out my Patreon page. So you just come here to patreon.com, that's patreon.com. You can search Just Informed Talk. You'll come here to this landing page. go ahead and click the red button to become a patron. And I encourage you all to come check out my rewards and my goal. We're doing great on getting closer to my goal, but I need all the help I can get, guys. So please come here and contribute so I can keep this channel going and keep this information coming to you, because I need all of your support. Thank you to everybody who has supported me. Some of my rewards are cool. You can earn a chance for an email correspondence. You can earn a chance to become a featured Patreon patron, which means you'll be featured in an episode of Just Informed Talk, or you can come and get this cool Just Informed Talk limited edition t-shirt for your Gold Talk contribution donation. There's only going to be 10 of those, guys, and they're going pretty quick, so I encourage you all to come grab a t-shirt if you would like. I'm going to figure out something else maybe after that, seeing how quickly these t-shirts go. But again, the first 10 patrons to make that contribution will get a Just Informed Talk official limited edition t-shirt. Those are running out pretty quickly, so if you guys want to come check that out, come here and do it. Thank you in advance to everybody who comes and checks out this page and gives what they can. I really appreciate it, and thank you to each and every one of my already existing patrons who are really what make the subscribers, and the patrons are what make this whole channel possible. So thank you so much for coming together and helping me out and keeping this channel alive. So the last thing we're going to talk about tonight is the most important thing, of course, and that is the Lord our God. And how does Christ come into the equation? Well, tonight we got some very disturbing information, as usual. More Q posts that make us question those who we basically had as a given to trust before. The people in power, the ones who we should have been able to depend on for their trustworthiness. But obviously that's not the case. But it's just another lesson in how we need to look to God first. And what do I mean by that? Well, basically, I just mean that whenever we're doubting ourselves, whenever we're doubting what we're doing or who we're following or what we're listening to, or whatever the medium is that we're not trusting, first open your heart up to the Lord and say a prayer and ask for His guidance, ask for His wisdom, ask for His love and understanding. Because once you attain those things inside of your heart, you'll be able to make better judgments. You'll be able to feel better every day. You'll be able to spread goodness to the world and kindness and be the beacon that you want to be for others to see. So that's the beauty of God, is that even though we continuously are faced with these difficult situations, such as the Q phenomenon and what's going on with the information that's dropping now and today, and who is evil, and fighting this global Luciferian pedophile elite cabal, what are we really doing? We're embracing God's love. We're embracing the good. We're embracing the light. And we're shining that light into the darkness. Because as Christians, it is our duty to spread God's word far and wide, across the nations, across the world. And a part of God's word is shining light onto darkness and bringing evil out to be exposed. Because this evil that exists is a plague, it's a scourge, it's a blight on our otherwise peaceful and prosperous existence that we could and would have otherwise. So we need to fight together to continue to expose this evil and work toward a better future for one another. And the only way to do that is by embracing God first, and praying and opening our hearts to the Lord and becoming the light that He wants us to be, to shine unto the world. So if you're having doubts or anxieties or worries or fears, just know that the Lord is there and He's only a prayer away. And each time you pray, you'll strengthen that resolve in yourself, and you'll strengthen the resolve that others have in you. So remember that. If you don't take anything away from this episode, take that away, that God loves you and that He is your strength, and He will give you the resolve you need to deal with all of this information as it comes to you. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I want to say thank you to everybody for watching. If you haven't yet, make sure you come here and click the big red subscribe button. It really helps the channel out big time, and it's the easiest thing you can do, and it's completely free. So thank you for that. But that's going to be it for me. I want to say have a great night. My name is Craig. This is Just Informed Talk. Godspeed and God bless, Patriots.